Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this episode of Boss Rush, and we're live, and we're going to go ahead and get Mark in here in a moment. He decided to ditch back out with his camera and jump back in. Like we said, you know, it wouldn't be a Boss Rush if something didn't go wrong at the very last second. Oh, my name is Chris Melisinos. I'm the principal evangelist for video games here at AWS, and with me today is...
I'll go first since Mark is arranging himself. I'm Susan Cummings. I run 10-6 games. I'm an expat. I live in Wales. And I've known you two for decades now.
For a little bit of time, for sure. Welcome, Susan, and with us as well, who's fumbling his way to the mic this morning.
Man, my lighting looks like shit. Hey, it's Mark Delora. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, my friend. I'm doing, well, as fantastic as one can be on it. Well, no, I am. I'm doing fantastic. You know, we got up today. We get to come in here. We get to...
That's a low bar.
You should have just stopped there. I got up today.
Yeah, I got up today. Woo!
Exactly, yes. Oh, my goodness. Well, Dean is not going to be with us today. He is off on assignment. No, he is in a car somewhere. So he's like, oh, I won't be able to join unless you want me to join from the car. And I was like, no, just don't do that. We're good. We'll hold down the fort for you. And yes, we're going to go ahead and dive into this week's game industry news. We'll dissect that stuff and discuss it. Also, if you would all be so kind as to go ahead and share this link out to your social media feed so people know that this is happening on Fridays there, that would be great. And yes, since we do not have Dean with us to kick us off today, who wants to go ahead and start? And that's all the time we have for this week. So thanks, everybody. Yeah, congratulations. We're out of here.
We're done.
Check.
Well, I did notice that I don't think this was a big surprise that Triple Dot acquired AppLovin's mobile games business.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. That was
big. That was a big acquisition story.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many people know about Triple Dot and like everything that they offer.
Only a little bit, because I'm a British studio. They're a British studio, you know, so I know some of their like investors and things like that. I don't know a ton about them. Is it the Merge games?
Yeah, I mean, here are all their studios.
Crazy. Wow. I didn't know. Oh, well, no, but that's because they just acquired, like Machine Zone was part of AppLovin, right?
Yeah. And then we got People Fun,
Wow.
which is a big one for like the word games, like Wordscapes and those types of games are all from People Fun, right? So I didn't realize the cadre of companies they had in their portfolio. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, and $800
Well, now I think they were
million.
just Triple Dot. They were just Triple Dot before this acquisition, right? I don't know if they owned any studios before.
I don't know, actually.
I'm not sure either, but I think that's now that they've done the acquisition. But that's good. It's good to see acquisitions happening, right? Acquisitions mean exits, mean investors have money to reinvest, hopefully. There was also a story that now these guys I know even less. Like I don't know why I didn't know the name Dreams. They're another mobile game company, and they took in a bunch of money from Initial Capital and Balderton and I forget who the third investor was. Maybe it was like Griffin, but there was a lot of money tied up in that. No, Makers was the third fund. Sorry. Anyway, so they all of those investors exited to a private equity firm, and so I know I heard at GDC that there was way too much money tied up in Dreams that was affecting deploying capital. So
Well-
I don't know how much that will help things, but that's good to see too.
Isn't it always the case that too much money and time is tied up in dreams?
Very clever, Chris.
That's why
Somebody had his coffee this morning.
That's why I get paid the medium bucks to do
That was
all
very
You get paid?
Very well done. I might have to steal that from you. And
There you go. Yes, too much time spent wrapped up in dreams. No, I mean, it's great that we're starting to see more investment kind of happening in the space. Griffin Gaming Partners just led a $7 million investment in Fuse Games as well, which is great. So we're starting to see, more of that, which, for lack of a better word, is great. It's said like 4 times in a row. Somebody needs to edit that out. Yes, I'm.
is it great though?
What's that?
Is it great though?
Oh, great.
It is. It's great. Just like that damn Nintendo Caterpillar. The great,
Yeah, exactly.
the great character stump.
I need like an AR filter of a caterpillar on screen that I can just kind of.
Okay. Let's take a note there. Enhanced effects for.
Yeah,
Boss Rush,
I
yes.
could pull out the Petaverse cats. We could all have a cat on screen. They're still out there. The
That's
platform's still
right.
live.
That would be cat-tastic. Okay. I think that Bowser sitting there in Mark's lap would disagree.
He was disagreeing pretty actively at the door, which is why I had to get up and pick him up. I was about to get yelled at.
I see. Yeah, exactly. Hey, idiot! What are you doing? Okay.
Yep. Put me in your lap right now.
Yep. All right. So that was you got one of the top news stories that I had put out there. For those of you that are listening in, if there are other news stories that we should be discussing, would love to discuss with you, go ahead and pop them into the chat so we know. That would be great. So yeah, that's a good one. Another one that popped up for me, actually. This one is a no, I don't have it up here, so we'll go and I'll find it and we'll talk about it later. Was Nintendo's fiscal year sales drop 30% ahead of Switch 2's launch. That was one of the big ones that popped up.
I did not see that.
Yeah. Yep. And
I guess that's not surprising. Like, in terms of history, I've never really paid attention to looking at what some consoles usually do, but I'm assuming that's normal.
Yeah. This is.
Yeah.
This, I think we've talked about this before in other cases. This is like the Osborne effect, right? We're announcing this thing and it'll be coming out later, but continue buying the current thing. It's like, well, no, now people are like, well, it's a month away from launch. So maybe we don't go ahead and buy. So not unexpected, but it's just priming the pump for Switch 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah, and I mean the good thing though is what I didn't get a chance to read in the article. Don't know if anyone listening has any data to point us at, but did software sales slow down?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, and the number listed there, we don't really know. Is that a big number? Is that a small number?
Right. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, the good thing about the being backwards compatible, right, with Switch 2 is you can still keep the software sales, coming in, even though maybe it's the platform that it stopped. Yeah. So yeah, we don't know what the makeup of the numbers are, but it was. It's not unexpected, and I don't think it points to anything other than, yep, people are excited for the Switch 2. I'm going to wait till it comes out, and then spending will resume, right? So,
Yep.
Yeah. So I thought that was a pretty interesting one. All right. What else do we got?
Well, my old friends at Rockstar delayed GTA. That's not a big surprise.
oh
But
yeah.
that's what a
Oh,
lot
is
of
that the
it
news?
is.
I didn't know that was the news. I saw the trailer. That was what I was excited about. I was like,
Yeah, no,
That's
the news has just
true.
been pushed back a whole year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it was ever going to come out then. I can't imagine. And this is not based on any inside knowledge, but I can't imagine anyone ever actually expected to ship it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it has been a decade.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Right. And we talked about this last week. Good on them for waiting. Seriously, it's like, you know what? Why
Yeah.
get it out when you're ready to get out? Because just seeing those trailers, I was like, it's unbelievable the level of fidelity that they have. It's crazy.
That's such a different reaction than I had.
Really? No, it's all.
I was like,
I haven't
no
watched
kidding,
it. I'm
you're
gonna
a
be
year
honest.
late.
I haven't
Look at
even
that
watched the trailer.
Why? Why?
Was it not great?
It was great. I wonder how long they spent making that instead of the game.
Oh, okay. There he goes now.
It's a different department that does that. I can tell you that much.
There
I
he
know.
Hey, look who entered the
Yeah.
chat. It's Mark Delora.
I'm like, that's a beautiful trailer. Get to work.
Oh, okay. All righty now. Yeah, but you know what? It's kind of like E3, right? Wait, you want me to halt everything for the next 4 months and make one
my
vertical
God,
slice will be played for 15 minutes? Okay,
Yeah.
let's go.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's a different group of people too. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But you can.
Like, many years have gone by, but back in my day, we had a big production
Oh,
department.
don't
just
use
made-
that term, please.
It's really the
What's
fidelity. I mean, I'm assuming they're using in-game assets for that trailer now, and they're
Yeah.
beautiful, and those beautiful assets take a lot of time to make.
Yes.
That's really what I thought when I saw it.
Yeah.
Don't use what term?
Well, back in my day, when
Oh.
we were putting together those trailers and whatnot, for all
Man,
those
that's-
whippersnappers.
Yeah, we just rendered them in what was it? The Street 3D Studio Max.
Oh my
What
goodness.
was it before that? Had a different name. 3D Studio. Well, before it was Max, it was just 3D Studio.
Yeah. Anybody using the rad tools and Granny
Oh yeah.
for some of this?
Granny. Oh, Granny.
Hey, back in the day, those
Back in the
tools
day.
doing software rendering for
Oh, yeah.
underpowered GPUs, but faster CPUs.
A
That
little
was
B
good.
render.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I know. We just lost, people that are.
This is now called old man rush.
Oh well, wait till you see what
Granny
I've been.
Rush.
Wait till
Granny-
we get to
Granny
what we've
Rush.
been playing. Yes, exactly. It's no longer. Yeah, it's no longer boss rush. It's I don't know.
Bathroom rush.
Boss
I don't
walk.
know.
Yeah, exactly.
Boss walk.
Rush.
Boss walk. Oh my
Arthritis
goodness.
rush.
But yeah, I mean, look. The fact is, going ahead and waiting is the absolute right thing. One of the things that I'd posted about on LinkedIn when the announcement came out was just like, this just gave Nintendo a 12-month window, right?
Yeah.
Because that's where the balance was going to be with what we're seeing around kind of the Xbox ecosystem happening, and then the continuing, kind of elevation services that Sony's doing. But this is new hardware, right? This is the thing to be excited about. So I think, it's a perfect kind of adoption curve space for Nintendo to exist in. But I also wonder how many other game companies are going to
Change dates.
accelerate, right, their release schedule. Go, oh, okay, we got a window now. Can we ship stuff, right? So,
Well, it's good for Christmas for everybody else. Yeah.
100%. 100%. I mean, I don't think we're going to see another VR headset revision that's going to be big enough to take some of that up for for the holiday season. So Switch 2 could be it, right? Yeah. So anyway, very, very cool. Steve Fowler. Hey, Steve. Thank you for joining us today. It says to that point, you got to hand it to Rockstar marketing PR team who turned a product delay announcement into a huge buzz building opportunity and effectively squashed any negative sentiment. Yep.
Nailed it.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. And when I was talking about fidelity, other people had pointed this out when I was observing things like the beer that was in that one scene that's actually carbonated, and you can see it like actually interacting with the bottle up the top, or diffused light actually being done properly. Like all of those environmental things just looked amazing.
It's expensive.
Very expensive. Very expensive. But hey, if this is going to be a game that's going to last another decade with incremental improvements to it over time, I mean, they're coming out.
Imagine the carbonation in 5 years.
Well, also, how do you put that on your resume to lead carbonation artist?
Oh, I love it.
Oh my goodness.
That's amazing.
Yeah, somebody's going to build a carbonation LLM. Make that beer frothy. Okay, let's stop.
This
talking
is
about
frothy.
that.
This is frothy.
Frothy or frothiest.
Sanity.
Oh my goodness.
I saw a new studio spun out from Bungie, Team LFG.
Oh.
Yeah, I did see that too. Yeah.
There was
This is
news
within
about
Sony,
us.
right? It's an internal studio.
Yep. Some also I'm in Seattle, so these are Seattle things, right? Yep, Team LFG people. Also a bunch of Probably Monsters developers. Probably Monsters, Seattle spun out and formed Zun Studios.
Oh.
Cool.
So this is exciting news, new stuff, new studios.
Absolutely.
LFG. What does that stand for?
Like
looking for a group. Looking for a group.
Depends which world you're in. Like in the crypto world, it's let's fucking go.
Well, I was gonna say that is what it means, but I was gonna say very clever marketing.
To me, it's looking for group.
Looking for group.
I'm
Just
gonna
had
ask
this conversation this
ChatGPT for
morning.
others.
Funny.
Actually, I do like their mission here, right? Team LFG, newest member of the PlayStation Studios family, headquartered in Bellevue, Washington. We're driven by a mission to create games where players can find friendship, community, and belonging. Okay, that's good. I applaud them for that. That's great.
Nice. Yeah.
And what was the other one you said, Mark?
Zunzun, Zunzun. One of them
Zun.
has an accent over it.
Zun.
Here we go. Probably Monsters Dev.
There you go.
Yay! Probably Monsters Dev form emotionally rich single-player narrative games. Zun. Okay, so taking a page out of what we literally just read, right? About emotionally engaging and community.
It's a movement.
And all that other stuff, you know?
Cool.
And Bowser agrees.
He does. He is snoring away. Oh, yeah. Where's my little AI filter? I'm going
Three
to cue that up
Bowsers
for today.
agree. Yeah, you're good. No, you're good.
3 out of 4 Bowsers agree.
3 out of 4
Bold,
Bowsers
beautiful,
give a
and
snoring
lasting.
approval. Give a snoring approval to Zun.
Sounds expensive.
It does.
If
Yeah.
you could afford the
Right?
Bowser snore, you would, because that's how good it is. We believe games can be art, and great art should make you feel something. I concur that video games are art, and not just art, the best art. But
Not just can be art. They already are art.
they already
They
are
are.
art. Yes, we have some information about that. Happy to send it along to the people at Zun. Anyway, that's very cool. That's very cool. That's very cool. Yeah, and I love, like Dragon Snacks games, right? Jem McLean's new company.
Yes.
Following this same sort of line of how do we create things that are, community driven, more engaging, let people find each other, have, positive experiences within the space. So this is good. Seeing more studios coming into that trend, and that's kind of the way that they're thinking about what they're building from the jump is awesome. I love that. I love that. All righty. Good. All right. What other big news? Susan, what do you got?
Oh, don't do that to me.
Wait, did you see the Video Game Hall of Fame inductees?
Oh, my goodness. My Mark, I just may have happened to have that sitting right there at the
Oh, look
ready
at
for
that.
us.
Bam.
Excellent. There we go.
That's how we do that. World Video Game Hall of Fame announces 2025 inductees. That's the Strong National Museum of Play, where they have up there, game developers rejoice. Defender, GoldenEye, Quake, and Tamagotchi have joined the World Video Game Hall of Fame at the Strong National Museum of Play. They were announced at a special ceremony that included members of the Defender development team with lead Eugene Jarvis, John Romero, co-creator of Quake, and Tara Batty, the head of Tamagotchi for Bandai Namco. Games are now enshrined in the Strong National Museum of Play's World Video Game Hall of Fame Rotunda, part of the ESL Digital Worlds exhibit. Really, really cool. Really,
Awesome.
yeah, I love that those were picked, and it was all done by vote, right? So anybody that was
Yep.
out there that voted for these, you understood the assignment. Good job. Good job. I agree. I
Great
agree
game.
with all of these for sure. For sure. Have you been up to see the new wing?
I am gonna go. I think I'm gonna go to Serious Play this year, which is in August, and I'm gonna go up to Rochester. That's my current plan, anyway.
Nice.
Nice.
I haven't
you
been
been
yet.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to attend the opening, and JP Dyson, who is basically the director of the museum, the video game stuff at the museum, who's been an amazing collaborator over so many years now. When we went up there for the opening, they said, well, all the halls are open right now, and but nobody's allowed in yet. But if you just want to go ahead and go in and film by yourself, go ahead. And so I had full run of everything with nobody else in the space, and did a whole walkthrough of the entire exhibition that's up on our the AWS for Games Rewind playlist. So I'll go and pop a link in there. It was so much fun to walk around. They did such an incredible job. And it's an organization that truly loves video games, right? It's not just, oh, we're going to put this in the museum, we're going to do something. No, they are deeply attached to the industry. They understand it as an art form, and the importance of preservation. So absolutely love the whole team up there. And congratulations to the winners, the inductees into the Video Game Hall of Fame. Isn't that right, Bowser? I told you need to film it. You need to film a project demo. Mark's your guy. Mark,
I got to start working on a Frenchie game. I don't know. I got all the actors here for free.
Yeah, you got to do like it's audio content recognition. So when they start to snore, like it triggers something in the game. That would be it. You got a snore and a fart mechanic built right in to it. Fantastic.
It's an unfair advantage for people with Frenchies. So there's a fart mechanic.
Exactly right. Exactly. Yeah, they really nailed that fart mechanic in that game, I have to say. That was the best use of gastrointestinal distress. All right. Speaking of distress, but also a way to work around it, there was this article on GamesBeat. While gaming stalled, Brazil adapted and found ways to move forward on the Dean Beat. And they talked about, in the article, there's a lot to go into here, but they talked about how Brazil, which has always been, because of like the import tax and everything else going into the country, it was always very difficult to bring content, game systems, things like that into Brazil, which is also why older systems that could be replicated in market outlasted their install base in the West. Perfect example is like the Sega Master System. I think in some way, shape, or form, they're still shipping like Master Systems in Brazil, right? And Genesis and stuff like that. But they completely leaned into that, building up the development communities in Brazil. And for the Gamescom LATAM Big Festival, 131.8 thousand people showed up for that conference in Brazil. Amazing. Right? Absolutely amazing. So it's really, again, wonderful to see the strength and continued growth of games and these types of things outside of the more traditional markets that we are used to seeing, right? What did they say? This comes down to Brazilian fans who are a passionate bunch. There are 2.6 times more of them showing up at Gamescom LATAM than there were at the big festival just a couple of years ago. And they're coming to see global speakers like Shuei Yoshida, Hank Rogers as well. And they said they're still selling tickets, 130,000 this year versus 101,000 the year before. So they just keep they basically added another GDC's attendance to the conference in a year. Like, that's crazy, right?
Wild.
Yeah. So I love it. So definitely read more about it there in the article. All right. What else you got?
You got me messing around with my microphone gain, is what you got.
Don't be messing around with your game. I got you on this side.
Trying to get rid of the Bowser.
No. Don't listen. That is now part of it. People are going to be like, is that his stomach? Is that a dog? We don't know exactly. So no, don't you worry about messing around with your mic, especially 25 minutes into the live stream.
I'm going to break everything.
And breaking all the meters. You're burying the needle on this side here. So
hopefully it's gonna work out okay. Did you see that the IGDA added 3 new board members?
Yes. You want to talk a bit about that?
So I don't know a couple of them. I know one of them. Jennifer Estaris is the game director on Monument Valley. Yay! And
Nice.
Also does a lot of work with Playing for the Planet. So she was on a panel that I did at GDC this year and was awesome. I highly recommend watching that panel on GDC Vault, which is open, I believe, because it's an advocacy track talk, so you don't have to be a Vault member. It's all about implementing climate-related policies in your company. So she was brought onto the IGDA board. Also, Tiziano Giardini, who is the co-founder of IGDA Italy. Pretty awesome. And number 3, Pedro Zambon. I don't know Pedro. Pedro is co-founder and vice chair of the IGDA Incubation SIG. I think he must be working with Sho Sato, a friend of mine.
Oh.
And a postdoc fellow at Utrecht. Awesome. 3 great people. Really good to hear. Congratulations.
Yeah, and so Pedro Zambon is a researcher, industry consultant, and advocate for sustainable growth of game development ecosystems across Latin America and the global South. Awesome. Yep. And of course, Dean being right on top of it because he produces 48 stories a day.
Every day.
Every damn day. He's probably writing in the car.
Yeah, he's probably, for sure, using Gen AI.
Oh, the DLM, the Dean language model.
The Dean LM. It's coming soon.
Exactly. Yeah, no, very cool.
Yeah, that was
Did
awesome.
you guys last week talk about the Apple and Google stuff that they have to start letting you buy stuff in
market
web
stuff?
stores?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did that
A
get
little
talked
bit.
about?
Yeah, do you want to talk more about it? I keep staring at it and thinking I don't quite understand what the ramifications are. So if you have thoughts about it.
Well, here's an interesting ramification is that I wonder how that starts to affect things like Steam. Now, I know Steam's different. They don't have it. Well, they do. They have the Steam hardware. I was going to say that Steam's a bit different because it's not like there's a device and they're forcing you to do it to the store. But I guess they kind of are with the Steam Deck. So that's interesting.
Oh,
I'll throw that out there. But that wasn't where I was going. But, with mobile devices, obviously there was this monopoly thing where, you had to buy through the app stores and that 30% hit. So now you don't have to do that. You can go. So as I understand it anyway, you can send people off to your own web store, your own website, and make a purchase there. And I don't think Apple and Google make anything.
Correct.
Yes. And so I do wonder what the ramifications will be off the top of my head right now for someone like Steam, and if they'll be the next ones to get hit with something like this. But just from an indie standpoint, it's fantastic, obviously. Because look, well, I guess this is kind of a tangential topic, but games are getting really expensive, right? Like the Switch price is really high. Switch games are going to be really high. Now the Xbox is hiking the prices of their games. And I remember back in
your day.
Back in my day, when I was like 8 and we had an Intellivision, I remember games being pretty fucking expensive then. I think it was like $80 for a game or something ridiculous like that. Or at least in my 8-year-old mind, it felt that expensive.
Right. But that's
so
why we
I know
only
this-
ever got a game on your birthday and Christmas. Like that was it.
Yeah, they were really expensive, right? I'm not crazy to remember it that
You
way.
are not crazy.
So I mean, I hate doom and gloom about it, but the economy's a mess and tariffs and everything else. So I kind of hope that what comes out of it is that people buy more indie games. Right? Instead of buying one, Switch game for $80, you could buy probably 10 awesome things or 5 awesome things at least on the Steam store or the Epic store. So that was cool. The one I'm curious about, and maybe one of you have the answer to this, is Epic announced all their changes with the store on the back of this. Is that specifically the Epic mobile store, or is that for like PC and stuff too through Epic? And I couldn't quite tell.
My understanding, the way I read it, is that it's their mobile stores.
Okay, not the PC stores. Okay.
Right.
Because they were like waiving stuff entirely, which would be interesting. Like Epic has not really done a brilliant job of competing in any respect with Steam. And so maybe they should be thinking about something like that.
I would give you a counterpoint to that.
I've been told it's like 5% of what Steam does in revenue.
Yes. I don't know the actual percentages, but I would say that if you, which I keep urging people to do, it's free. Go get your free games every week.
Oh, I'm not saying
no.
look,
What I'm saying is it's going to take time to kind of change that behavior. It's kind of like the same thing, Google as a browser or a search engine versus everything else.
The best reason I ever heard, because to me, Tim Sweeney has like more money than God these days, and the drive to change things. I'm like, if anyone should be able to compete with Steam, it should be Sweeney. My understanding is that there's this innate behavior in gamers right now. They know eventually it's going to go on sale on Steam, so they don't care. It comes out on Epic, and even if it's like exclusive for a few months, they'll just wait until it's on their Steam list. And so somebody, I don't remember who it was that I'm stealing this from, said to me that really the best thing Epic could do to try to compete would be to get full-on exclusives, so that doesn't become possible anymore, where they pay for an exclusive and you have to get it there, and you start to move people over there, like the consoles did.
Or you make people angry. Or you make people angry.
Yes, will absolutely make people angry.
Yeah, but why would they be angry? Because you can download the store for free and you could
exactly. There's nothing
buy the game. Takes you an extra 30 seconds.
Okay, how many storefronts do you all subscribe to?
I have both. I do have
2.
both.
Right, yeah, me too. You probably have GOG and some other ones, all right, Chris?
I have GOG. I have Amazon Games. You're not doing Amazon Games.
Fanatical. I think we use that's on the
We give away free games every week.
Is there an Amazon store, like a
Amazon
app?
Games? Yes.
I mean, aside from the website, I'm thinking about like.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Mark somehow just disappeared from this last. There he is.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Amazon an e-commerce company?
Yes. Apparently, yes. We're attached to gas stations now. That's what but no, I mean, yeah, to your point though, just go download every storefront that's giving away this stuff for free. I mean, the nice thing about, I think, the way these companies that do give away the free games is that it's not like you're tied into, if you decide not to buy, you lose the games after some point. No, these games, you download them, and now it's just part of your collection for as long as their services, are up and running. You get access to them, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty cool. Which is
So
definitely.
I've got no great loyalty to any store. I will say that my Steam app is usually open because I've been playing something, and my first point of call is to go search in Steam and see if they have it, as opposed to going to the Epic store.
Yeah.
And it does feel like perhaps the only way to start to change our wiring on that is to have a reason why you have to go to the Epic store to get something.
Yeah. I mean, it's muscle memory, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more to it though. One of the things. So I bought. I didn't buy actually. I downloaded blueprints from Xbox Game Pass, right? Which made me very happy because I didn't have to pay any extra money. But the way that I play these games typically is if I play it on the big computer that's here sitting at my desk, and this is where I do work. So in the evening, this is not where I am. I'm downstairs on the laptop. With most Steam games, they save using the Steamworks API. They save to the cloud just by default. Most Steam games use that. And so I can expect that if I download it onto the laptop, I can play it there too. And it'll just use my cloud save. That is not the case. It's not on Steam. It's on Xbox Game Pass. And like it's a local save. I'm like, that's totally weird. I'm like, I've forgotten about how all that works. I'm like, oh, well, that sucks.
What directory did you put it into?
Yeah, it's an Xbox Game Pass on PC. So I'm playing it on PC, but I can't expect that the save is going to be a cloud save.
That's weird.
Yeah, right. It just feels
a strange decision.
Oh, it's a surprise more than anything else. So what I do instead is I use Chrome Remote Desktop to remote into my big PC from the laptop downstairs, and then I try to play the game that way. And that
feels wonky.
Yeah,
that feels really wonky.
I don't like it.
Interesting.
Anyway,
Are the Steam and so I play more on Steam. I'm wondering, do the Epic utilities like around login and all that, are they competitive with? Are they just as good as the Steam ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Are they?
They work just fine.
I don't know. Curious. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't know that. I feel like
There's
they
certain
don't have the
niceties
same
about
amount of
Steam that you
functionality.
you don't have to log into a game because it's all done behind the scenes with Steam and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
Oh,
there's
yeah,
the
no, it's the same
leaderboard
with
and
Epic.
achievements and the
It is
chat.
the same. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
games that you get through there, you just log in through Epic. So single
Okay,
sign
just
on,
like us.
and there.
This is because I'm the problem here. I do tend to go to Steam.
No,
do the
you're
same
not.
thing.
It's
Yep.
not a problem. It is.
I am
muscle
part of the
memory.
problem.
Oh, you are all the problem.
Now I'm going to download an Epic game and try it on a couple different machines and see what happens.
There you
I'm
go.
just
There you
curious.
go.
Yeah.
And there are ways to go ahead and get those storefronts up and running on your Steam Deck. So you can play your Amazon games and your Epic games on the Steam Deck too. And,
Without having to go via the Steam store.
well, no, you still have to have the Steam store. You still, yeah, right. So you have your accounts on those other ones, but the community have built like loaders for them. So now you can go in,
okay.
log in through an application that runs on your Steam Deck that logs you into those stores, and then you can install through that application those games locally on your
So
Steam
you
Deck and
could
play
you
them.
could bypass the Steam store.
Yes,
And buy it on the Epic.
basically
That's
you
what I was
have
getting
a method for getting access to those other storefronts on your Steam Deck, and it works.
Gotcha.
And it works.
And I know
well.
you can sideload games onto your Steam Deck too.
You
so.
can do that, and you can also use the Xbox, cloud streaming down as well through a browser. And there's all these different walkthroughs online. So obviously,
maybe that's what I should be trying to do. I'm going to play around with my Blueprints games, and I'll report back in next week.
How are you enjoying Blueprints?
I haven't been playing it much because I've been really busy on a contract. So I'm, day 8 or day 9, but it's all I can think about.
I know. I had to stop playing, and then I'm going back and I'm restarting it because I realized, okay, I'm not taking notes. Like I'm not.
God, I have so many notes.
I just
now.
started throwing rooms down and going, oh, that's really cool. The way they figured out that this was no longer accessible, and that's really good. And so now I'm like, and yeah, I know I'm gonna land in some sort of.
I haven't gone back to it. It felt like work that first day.
Yeah. I had to get to like the 5th or 6th playthrough before it stopped feeling like work.
Okay, so I should try it some more. Should I? I enjoyed it. I thought I loved the trail. It felt like a tabletop game, which was all really cool. I was annoyed that it very quickly felt like I needed to have a notebook next to it to take notes.
Game.
And I was annoyed at how quickly I kept backing myself into not being able to put any more rooms down.
Yep, I think. Yep, I kind of feel like it's a game that'll go back and forth between fun, addictive behavior and feeling like you have to have an Excel spreadsheet and a notebook and a pencil.
It's just like Eve online all over again.
But I did before Chris. I did beat a whole round of Balatro. I got to like the next level. So I'd like to just point that out that I beat Chris on that. I got the
I know. I know. Every once in a while, I got this like good run going, and then something comes up. It's like you gotta be shitting me.
Yeah. But I found the trick to it. Which now I feel like I kind of broke the game. Like I know what you have to do.
That's your job.
Oh, no.
Your job is to break the
game. Doesn't it shift though every deck?
Now
I feel like I think every deck it changes.
You want to go for pairs and high cards. It seems like it's a waste of time to get that doesn't scale.
It changes per deck though. That's why they have so many decks.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I realized that Balatro.
I read a really concise article on this on Reddit that was explaining this guy saying why he's taking this approach. And as soon as I did that, 2 games later, I finally got to a win screen. It's a little bit dependent on what jokers come up.
Right, of course. But I also realized with Balatro, this is the perfect game for to be turned into a horror movie. Because those jokers, right, are basically possessed. And so it feels like there's an IP opportunity. Somebody needs to call a studio and get that made. Elena here in the chat says flushies. I guess I'm not that plugged in with the vernacular of the Balatro community. So
This is ultimately what ruins a lot of roguelikes for me, is that you figure out the one path of least resistance and you win, and then I have a hard time forcing myself to play a different way.
Yeah.
Like I had this with Slay the Spire. You know, there were a couple builds around like poison, for example, that made it much easier to win. And if you didn't go for that sort of build, you kind of had a very low chance of getting to the end. And same for the Obelisk game that I played the shit out of over Christmas. I figured out that if you went the poison route, again, much easier to get through the whole game. Everything else, it was hit or miss. And so that's what ultimately ends my experience in whatever the roguelike game is. I can usually find that. Same with Monster Train. There was a very specific build that was the only way I could win. And now making a roguelike game, it means that we have to be thinking about this. I really hate the idea of there being only one real way to do it.
And I can't wait till we're ready to talk about what you're doing. So that'll come at a later time. We're going to dedicate a whole episode to it. Elena Sigmund says, this is actually something great about Balatro. They force you out of your strategies and also give you depth in your preferred path. All right. I'm going to be jumping back in.
I thought that was right, too. That's what I felt about Balatro, too, is that every time I had a strategy, I would jump to the next deck, and it would just destroy my previous strategy.
Right. Or the different deck colors, and you're like, oh, wait a minute. No, now I just lost a card slot, or I lost a discard, or I lost, right?
All the face cards.
Pairs, double pairs, and high card. It doesn't matter.
I've moved on. No more Balatro for me. I got blueprints to solve.
Well, thank you for joining us here on Balatro Bodega and the corner store for all your Balatro needs.
Lee and I have started playing Last Epoch finally. It's really good. It's really deep. Like,
all right,
mind-bogglingly deep.
All right, will you park that until we get to what we're playing section?
Oh, sorry.
Because we're still talking about news there. Look, folks, this is what I have to contend with all the time.
That's why you're here. Thanks for keeping us in line.
All right, so what I wanted to also mention, we were talking about Rockstar, and we were talking about price of games and stuff like that. There was this interesting article that popped up that Mafia: The Old Country will be $50, confirms a leaked release date of August 2025. The Old Country is launching on August 8th, 2025, as the headline just said, and I just read it, and it'll be cheaper than many other big games. So now there's the discussion of, well, wait a minute, they're coming in at $50 for this complete, remake. Do we think they're going to have to go ahead and launch GTA 6 at $100? What does this mean, especially given the price increases that we've seen with some other games, right? So here they are coming out with a game that, people are waiting to go ahead and play, and it's only $50.
Only.
I don't know. Back in the day when I was at Take-Two, 2K and Rockstar were very, very separate things and made their own have made their own call about that, and it wouldn't have had nothing to do with it. I have no idea, since my last day was Strauss's first day, and that could be way more lined up than it used to be. Like maybe they have a sales group that actually manages both now. But once upon a time, it would have had nothing to do with it, and it wouldn't have been considered. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to take experiments like this.
Yeah. Well, I also love that Mark tried to slip in there the only. So he slipped that in right under our breath, Susan. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, I know.
Only $50.
I'm wondering how that becomes a cheap game. This is like the what's it called? The 33, the thing that we were talking about last week.
Yep.
Yeah. So there was a VC post that went on. I'm not going to even say who, but there was a VC post.
Yeah.
They love hearing themselves on LinkedIn. There was a VC post about the fact that it was an quote unquote indie game with 30 people for less than $40 million. I'm like, what part of that says indie to you? That's not indie. That's double A.
Oh my God.
It's what I'm doing.
Game with $40 million.
That's not indie.
That's just like, did they take publisher money? They must have, right? Nobody
did. In the end, it was.
They're not an indie.
Kepler, which is the guy who started where someone from Excalibur Night started something like. I don't know much about Kepler, but so they published it. The game's been in development for like 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
Kudos to them. It's
Yeah,
apparently a
right?
great game. I haven't
I've
played it
heard
yet. I just my only issue was anyone thinking that that's what an indie game team budget, scale looks like. Like,
Of course
it's
it
great
is.
that
What are
there
you
is
talking
something
about?
in between.
I went there. How I raised $40 million talk at GDC next year.
How you
On the indie track.
how you only raised 40 million. I did this. No, I think the cool thing though is okay. So the debate about what constitutes an indie anymore, not Indiana, indie anymore, is up for debate. But what I do think is a game of that quality that hit it that far out of the park with the 30-person team over the period of time they did it. It's not that 30 people is a
Commendable.
small team.
Yeah.
It's not that it's small team, but it's also not what we typically expect of a game that looks like that, plays like that, has that kind of growth in the market. And I think that's the really the story here is
100%.
Yeah.
Cannot agree with you more. I and lots of other people have been saying that there is no middle ground. You're either AAA and GTA expensive or you're indie. They've proven me wrong there. That there is a very risky chance of being somewhere.
Yeah, it was a great game.
It's not a slam dunk. It's a really expensive chance, but I think it's really great to see that
Yeah.
you don't have to
Yeah.
spend that kind of money and have a 500-person team and etc.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's great. It was the wrong story, but there is a great story there.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely agree. All right. I got one other piece of news that I thought was just funny to me, just the way it hit. It was Alienware reveals Aurora class laptops for mid-range gamers.
Yeah.
That
I
is
saw
an
that
interesting
too.
marketing bent.
What did you say? I saw the headline and was tempted to dive in, but didn't. What's the TLDR?
The TLDR, which we're going to read together since I haven't read it, was our flagship. Like I said, the title is what hit me. Our flagship tier designed for those who demand maximum performance and premium features in a durable, robust design. That's Area 51. And Aurora is our versatility tier, offering strong performance within a sleek, streamlined form factor. A new design language for it. So it's basically the budget gaming line now for them,
Low
right?
profile, high performance. Does it say what the specs are? Like,
Yeah,
why is it?
Let's
mid-range?
go ahead and dig into that. I just thought the approach. Wait a minute. Cryo chamber.
Ooh,
This
got a
solution
cryo
helps
chamber.
maximize airflow intake and expel heat efficiently through strategically placed vents, as opposed to
That sounds
sloppily
handy.
placed vents, which will just go to melt
Or
your
no
lap
vents.
and burn your eyebrows off. Credit is due to 4 exhaust vents, 3 copper heat pipes, air intakes above the keyboard, and the cryo chamber itself. Oh my goodness, I needed my voice changer for that. My goodness.
It
that was
sounds
good.
awesome, but I don't
Right.
know.
Okay, here we
I
go.
wonder.
16-inch QHD display is designed to impress, dressed to impress. Gamers will enjoy incredibly smooth, responsive
240
gameplay with a
hertz.
240 hertz
Heck
refresh
yeah.
rate.
Like that.
500 nits of brightness, added precision of NVIDIA G-Sync support. Okay, here we go. Uses up to 115 watts of power.
Right.
An
Okay,
Intel
yeah.
Core Series 2 up to an i9, and then 3050, 4050, 5060, or 5070 GPUs. Those do not sound underpowered for me.
60 or 50, 70.
I mean,
Yeah, but the interesting thing is, I don't know if you know that when you say something like a 5060 or 5070 GPU on a laptop, is very different than a 5060 or 5070
Absolutely
GPU on
it
a
is.
desktop, because it's so power capped.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. So those numbers a little bit sus. By contrast, the Alienware 16X Aurora uses 155 watts of power, an Intel Core Ultra Series 2 up to an Ultra 9 as a processor, and RTX 5060 and 5070 GPUs.
5.9 pounds.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to scope out laptops these days. I'm like the use cases, I feel like, at least for me, are changing over time. Like I want something super light that I can take to a show and carry around all day. But then like I want the thing that I was using for blueprints, Like my original idea with buying a laptop was to get something thin with a 4K screen that I could use like a dumb terminal and remote into this desktop. So that's what I'm doing with blueprints. The use case is a little bit sus, like you said. It sort of works, sort of doesn't. My
Yeah.
Wi-Fi speed, I'm getting a couple hundred megs internal Wi-Fi speed. That kind of works. It's a little bit not great.
Right.
I don't know. Almost think laptops still need more juice,
Yeah. Well, here's the question then. If they're releasing a brand new line for the mid-range gamers, does that speak to the type of games that people are playing now? Right? The ones that may not be a full, UE5 render crushing, sort of game to the type of games that people are playing where the stuff that's sucking the oxygen out of the room right now may not need high-end cards anymore and things like that, right?
Totally. Yeah.
I don't know.
So that's some good forethought.
Makes
on
good
the type of-
sense.
Yeah, it does.
It's not what I think of when I think of Alienware, though. I'm like,
Right.
Alienware should be like my 20-pound laptop with the giant, vents out the back that look like the grill of a Corvette.
Yes. I saw a YouTube video the other day of, do you remember, it wasn't Alienware, was it Alienware or was the Raptor? They had that it was like a 25-pound laptop with an ultra wide. Remember that thing?
I totally
It
remember
came
that.
in a custom travel case. It was just insane, just absolutely insane. Oh my goodness. All right, so now we have mid-range. We have Aurora class laptops for mid-range gamers, whatever a mid-range gamer is, which can also, by the way, spend as many hours and as much money as hardcore gamers, so don't ever dismiss them. And then the other big one, too, was, well, not necessarily a big one, but PAX East is going on right now.
Oh, yeah, and they have a live stream. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, you pop over to their Twitch and you can watch all sorts of random stuff, which I've been doing.
Oh,
Which has been great.
well, there we go, right there. If I had just scrolled below the fold, then I would have seen it. There they are. They've got the live stream going right now.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh,
So nice.
so cool. So cool. And what I realized, too, was I was thinking back after reading this article, Mark, and remembering when you and I, let's see, we were at that's not you and me. That's just me.
But look at you.
Look at that.
Look at that hair.
Exactly right. Yeah, frosted hair. That's exactly right. The scrub dancer for NSYNC, and a man from the future pointing his finger guns at me. But then wait a minute. Who's that guy?
Oh my God.
Look at this guy right here on stage.
My hair had colors in it.
I say,
They weren't great.
Excuse me. There we go. Right. I'm
Nice.
not afraid to embarrass myself here. But yes, and I think think that was like the second PAX or something that was done that you and I were doing different panels on, and I remember sitting in the audience with Gabe and Tycho, basically, right? Jerry and Mike. Their moms were there. And they were sitting with us, and they were like, "Oh, we're so proud of our boys." I got all these old Sun Microsystems, GDC picks, and all this stuff from back in the day. Oh my goodness, it was just absolutely crazy.
Colors.
But yeah, but when I saw that, I was like, "Oh wait, I need to go ahead and make sure I bring Mark's picture up there because I'm like, yeah,
That's
we got
awesome.
that, we got that." Woo, it's been a long time.
Yeah, one other piece of news I'm going to throw out there, just as I'm staring at it, I can't get it out of my brain, is the FTC, the case to halt the Activision Blizzard acquisition for Microsoft.
What?
The FTC had come at. You didn't know about this? So the FTC had said that this merger should be canceled. And anyway, that's finally been shot in the head. So
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was a Lena Khan FTC era move. Am I mixing that up? That's right.
Yeah, they win the appeal.
They won the appeal. I mean, it feels like so long ago that we were talking about this. It was a couple of years ago now. This all went down.
Yeah.
So it was still going. So the news was a surprise to even see. But it's nice to have that wrapped up.
Yeah. No, it's and it'll be really good to see what Microsoft does with the acquisitions going forward, right? And
Yep.
We're starting to see some of that, but yeah, but those are all you hit basically all the big news pieces I had written down here.
Woo! Check.
It's right. So since we have 6 minutes left, let's talk about what we're playing. I got a couple of things to share with you all, but I want to hear from you all first.
Yeah.
you want me to go first?
Oh,
You
I was
wanna-
starting to play. I'm playing the last Epoch.
Okay, tell us.
Action RPG. We got bored with Diablo
Ooh.
and its ilk. Have not played Path of Exile 2 yet because I heard that it's been getting hammered on some of the way they've balanced it.
I don't know.
If
Maybe you
wanted
can.
something
Maybe
like
you can
that.
get Musk to join your party, and since he's the most
That's
ranked
fine.
player
Maybe
in
it's
the
really
world.
just because I don't want to play anything where I can run into Elon Musk or someone who's paid off.
Yeah.
Yes.
I won't see him, don't
It's
worry.
gonna be. It's gonna be. There's a selector, and there's a radio button
with or
option in
without
there.
Elon Musk. Yeah.
No grok allowed.
No Musk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Elon free zone.
Yeah.
But Path of Exile, I'm sorry, but Last Epoch is really good. It's really deep. The sort of upgrade system and stuff for like your gear, this forge is just mind-blowingly confusing. I was watching a YouTube video and my head hurt as I was watching it. I'm like, Lee, do you understand this? He's like, yeah, I think I get it. I'm like, I'm more confused now than when I started. But it's a hack and slash with lots of loot and lots of customization and time travel between different eras and stuff. A lot of it feels very rippy off of Diablo. Even the font is very Diablo.
It totally is. That's what I was just looking at.
Yeah, it looks a lot like. But someone said this. One of the reasons we were convinced is it's a quality of life upgrade to Diablo, which is true. There's just some really good decisions, and you start with some really cool abilities that just make you feel strong really quickly in a way that having played all the Diablos, they don't really do. So there's some cool stuff. It's worth a check out if you're into ARPGs.
Yeah, very cool.
Very cool.
Having fun with it, yeah.
I have to go and check it out. How about you, Mr. Delora? Apart from Blueprints streamed on your home network there.
That's it. That's all I've been playing. I've also been generating images of myself as PBS Sesame Street characters, which is kind of a game.
Yes.
trying to support PBS. I'm just noticing, like, normally in the little spot on my desktop where there would be a game icon that I'm playing, there are now two giant Muppet heads of me holding I love PBS coffee cups. So that's what I've been distracted with. Anyway, but Blueprints is fantastic.
It is fantastic. And what a surprise game, right? It came seemingly out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
That's what I love.
Totally.
Even when I say the word fantastic, I feel like I have to caveat it. I mean, everybody says it's great. I keep seeing people post about it, but as you know, it did not stick for me for a couple of weeks where I was like, I don't get it. It feels like work. I don't get it. Susan and I were
That's
like
wrong.
colluding on it. Now I'm like, okay.
I'm gonna try again.
Yeah, I'm running on something now. I found something, and I know I need to do this and that. And I'm like, I got conference calls till 11, and then maybe I'll play a day before I get back to work.
And then we lost Mark, and we lost Mark in room 41. That was
it. Yeah. That's right. It won't be. Yeah,
He's still there.
Somewhere
exactly.
Anyway,
okay. And now I got to get back in, but there's too much work and travel going on right now, so it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
But all right. So what I've been doing is I finally finished the mini PC.
Oh, nice! Look at that.
Doesn't that look good?
Look at that. That's amazing.
It works. It works.
Wow.
The floppy drive in the front is actually an SD card reader.
What?
So yes, so you can just plug in SD cards with different OS builds on it. It'll run up to like Windows 95 on that little machine.
Dude,
the one thing it doesn't have is an external HDMI, which I'm going to go ahead and modify and wire in because
Of course you are.
watching it on a 3.5-inch screen that is then also cropped because it's got a 4:3 resolution. But I will tell you, the most joyous thing about this was firing up like Wolfenstein 3D and going, this is the machine looks just like it and it sounds just like it, and it is amazing.
That's
like
amazing.
The monitor
That
all
is
rotates
adorable.
and everything. It is. It's an adorable little machine.
It is.
And so I will tell you, of course, now we're playing the open source Linux game, which is okay. Modern drivers in the newest build of Raspbian doesn't allow for screen rotation on a 3.5-inch screen without it breaking touch And so it
Yeah.
was literally like 4 days of trying to figure out how to get the damn screen rotated 180 degrees because that's the way it's mounted. I'm like, I even
Yeah.
thought about seeing if they were hard jumpers or even like delaminating the top part of the screen, pulling up and literally turning it around and extending the cable.
Oh my god.
And I was
that's
just like,
hardcore.
I'm not going to do that. But yeah, so there's
Yeah.
that. And then I'm back on my Pico 8 kick.
Oh,
Pico
yeah.
8 is just so damn good. And if you're not experiencing all this Pico 8 joy, you need love in your life. Like it. Oh, listen to that. Could you hear that?
I heard you going click, click, click. That's all I could hear.
Oh no, that was Susan. Oh yeah,
I
don't
just
know.
I sent a picture of that to Lanyon. He's very impressed, Chris.
All right. All right. So this, like, here's Berserk running, you know,
Oh,
in
nice.
Pico 8, and they have
Does that
audio.
run on your little PC?
Huh?
Oh yeah. Does that run on your little PC that you
Oh
made?
yeah, it's Pico 8. So
Aw.
yep, it absolutely does. Absolutely does with a native player on it. And the coolest part about Pico 8 is not only do people do amazing little games and stuff like that, but I'm really biting it here. So not only do they have
You're
amazing
fired.
games and things like that, but people have figured out how to go ahead and extend what it can do. So I found out that each game is supposed to be 32 kilobytes, right? And the little cartridges, we talked about this before, I think. The little cartridges are actually the Pico 8 code. So when you export it and it creates that graphic, it's embedding the code into the pixel data, not into the metadata of the image, which is great. So you can literally put this PNG out there and people can drag it into their Pico 8 and it just plays, right?
Nice.
But the biggest game I found,
Very nice.
somebody packaged 16 cartridges together into one executable. And so they were able to create all of these different games or components of it that are called from the principal game cart. Just crazy, crazy stuff. And if you want to experience some of that stuff, which I love, if you go to my website, somewhere on the front page is a hidden icon. And if you click on it, it'll take you to a secret arcade. So
Nice.
yes, yes. So if you go to chrismelisanos.com.
I want the plans of how you made the mini PC. That's awesome.
Oh yes, I'll go ahead and post a link to that. Somebody had went ahead.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, somebody had went ahead. I found it on Maker World. I have a Bamboo P1S, and on Maker World they had the plans, including the parts you need to buy. They have for different, if you're using a Raspberry Pi 4 or a Raspberry Pi 5, they're different port outs on them. So they made different plates for them. So that way it'll work with a whole variety of them. Yeah, it's so much fun. Really so much fun. So I'll make sure that the link is there. But yeah, Pico 8, man, is just crazy. And they also have this other environment called Picotron, which is like, if you think of Pico 8 as being the 8-bit game world, this is the 16-bit game world with a full Windows windowing environment. 256K carts versus the 32K carts. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy what people can do. I love developers that can do stuff in these crazy limited spaces and just build amazing shit. It's so cool. So yeah, definitely check it out. That's what I've been back playing around with again.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
We're at time. I got to go see Marvel. I'm going to finally see the Marvel movie tonight.
Oh, my wife and I
yeah.
are also going to see it tonight. So yeah, we have tickets for it as
Hey.
well. Oh, look
Mark,
at
you
that.
gonna
We
go see
all
it tonight?
just so smart.
I feel sounds like I should.
You should, because there will be a quiz
club,
next
come
week.
on.
Quiz next week. We can compare notes.
There will be.
Absolutely, there will.
Which one are you going to dress up as?
I'm going to dress up as middle-aged man. My superpower is tolerating nonsense
Receding
less than I
hairline.
used to. I beg your pardon. Look at this. Look at this lush hair, man. What are you talking about? And once again, that's why Mark will not be joining us next week on, Oh my goodness. Hey, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Please let people know that every Friday you tune in with us and are hanging out with us as we kind of dissect all the news that we think is important and cool. And we get to talk about great games. I get to hang out with my friends every week, which I absolutely love. And yeah, thanks everybody for joining us today. Thanks to Mark. Thanks to Susan for being on the program today. And Dean.
Thanks to Chris for hosting.
Of course. Always. All right, gang. And you all have a wonderful rest of your day and awesome weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye.